Okay, grace, peace, and blessings to one and all. Hope everyone is doing good. Welcome to Knowledge, Understanding, and Wisdom Discourse. I am one of your presenters, Brother Devon, and I have my lovely co-presenter, my co-host here with me, Sister Charmin, always dressed to impress, while I did not dress to impress at all. I
Oh,
was like a
please.
mess.
No. You are
Just a
very
mess.
good. You are very good. Don't try that. Good night, Brother Devon. How you doing?
I am good. How you doing? How you
I
doing?
am good. I am good. I am good. Just trying to sort out my phone here. I don't know what is going on here. Yes, I
Okay.
am good amongst the rainy weather and everything. I am good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, please. No. You are very good. You are very good. Don't try that. Okay, boy, are doing things here that well, never literally cast. Anyway, I was thinking that joke afterwards.
We will talk behind the scenes. We'll talk behind the scenes. All right. So everybody, you all welcome to Knowledge, Understanding, and Wisdom
Yes.
Discourse. Hope everyone is doing great. Wishing you a fantastic day. You know, we've had some pretty rough weather in Trinidad and Tobago recently during this week. But by God's grace, we made it through. Thank God. So
Right.
new day, new opportunity to praise God, a new opportunity to get into some subjects. So we're going to deal with another practical issue today. The title of our subject is a discussion on rejection. That's what we are going to be dealing with. A discussion on rejection. And this is a big one because a lot of people have felt rejected. Yeah, so let's delve into it. This is the Charmin. Should we start with the scripture now, or should we start
Yes,
after?
let's put up. It's always good to start with the word of God, so we can
Right.
the word of God and then begin.
Okay, I see we have Sister Laz on board and a couple other persons as well. Praise God for that.
Good night, Sister Lals and everyone else.
Yeah, thanks for coming through, guys. Thanks for coming through. We really appreciate you all being here. So our scripture that we are starting with is found in Deuteronomy chapter 31 and reading from verses 6 to verse 8. Again, Deuteronomy chapter 31, reading from verse 6 to verse 8. It reads, Be strong and of a good courage. Fear not, nor be afraid of them. For the Lord thy God, he it is that doth go with thee. He will not fail thee, nor forsake thee. And Moses called unto Joshua, and said unto him in the sight of all Israel, Be strong and of a good courage, for thou must go with this people unto the land which the Lord hath sworn unto their fathers to give them, and thou shalt cause them to inherit it. And the Lord, he it is that doth go before thee. He will be with thee. He will not fail thee, neither forsake thee. Fear not, neither be dismayed. Sister Charmaine, a powerful scripture to start us off with our discussion.
Very powerful. It's an encouragement to each and every one of us. Bless the Lord, bless the Lord. So, folks, as Brother Devon introduced the topic, the topic is a discussion on rejection. Rejection is a big word there. And, I always like to give the meaning of what, the topic is about. And the meaning of rejection in terms of a noun is referred to as the actual act of rejecting something or to the feeling one has after being rejected. It also says it's the act of, this is Merriam-Webster Dictionary, the act of pushing someone or something away. One may experience rejection from one's family of origin, a friend, or a romantic partner, and the resulting emotion can often be painful. Rejection can cause individuals to feel ashamed, sad, angry, intimidated, and many other emotions may come there. So, Brother Devon, this rejection, just the whole meaning of rejection, to push away, to separate, from a friend, a romantic partner, a parent, or something like that. Just that in itself, to my mind, is a bit painful and in some cases even traumatic. So, I would like to discuss them. And I would like the viewing and listening audience to jump in here and discuss some of the ways a person may feel rejection. And I will start with, for instance, one of the biggies is ending a relationship. That is a romantic relationship. That, some persons, and we go back to, Romeo and Juliet was no rejection. They just couldn't, the parents and them wanted to reject them, pull them apart, but that wasn't rejection. But we see right here in Trinidad, right? And the world around us, when one partner, whether man or the woman, reject each other. Some persons in Trinidad, we used to say they drink the grammar zone, kill themselves and murder the partner, right? And sometimes the children also pass in that whole fiasco. So rejection is not an easy thing. So romantic rejection, some of us, we discussed little topics like this before. We growing up, or we had a crush on somebody, we had a boyfriend, girlfriend, and then this person either cheated on us or walked away. They end the relationship. And that feeling of rejection is not a nice thing. Some persons bounce back easily, forget it, but some persons never, Brother Devon. I have known persons, because of rejection, they never ended up getting married because they were either afraid that the man, especially I know it's for women, the man may be unfaithful. Brother Devon laughs. The man may be unfaithful again. So therefore, to protect their heart, they build an invisible wall, around them, and they never allow their emotions to go out there because they did not trust, their hearts with anybody else. Yeah. So I am saying this to show the long, impactful, negative, impactful way rejection could have on certain persons. Yes. So, you going on and you giving your all to somebody, and we're discussing the romantic relationship. Now you're giving your all and you're thinking all is well and the other person on the same page, and lo and behold, some friend come and tell you, I see a partner in some party, in some restaurant with somebody else. Brother Devon and I have had live experience of this. I will give a little example here. I had a friend. I still have a friend. She's still my friend, and she got married. And lo and behold, this is some months after, I went in to purchase some lunches in a restaurant. And I don't know what made me just turn back. And when I look, it was her husband in the restaurant with somebody else. I feel, Lord, why did I have to see this? Now, my dilemma was tell my friend or leave it. Because if I tell her and anything break up, I will feel guilty. Tell her not to tell her. I had here a man, I had to pray. I feel, Lord, if I tell her, I feel as though I would have been a hypocrite. I would have not been faithful to her as a friend. And that was a dilemma. So I prayed, and sometimes I'm talking with her and I say, Lord, I need to tell this girl, boy, I need to. Because she was also discussing certain other little things with me. And then when I saw that, I say, wow, like what she's saying about the gentleman is really true. So, eventually I had to tell her. I had to tell her. Yeah. I had to tell her because it wasn't going smooth all the way. Yeah, there were conflicts and whatnot, right? So, I felt led that I had to. Yes, and I mean, that kind of a rejection, it wasn't too nice. It was not too nice at all, at all, at all. Eventually, she got other, persons telling her the same thing. Yeah. So it was just like confirmation upon confirmation, right? And we see this all the time where, especially first love, where you really love this person and then this person just reject you. And I don't know why it is so much harder. It's hard on the man as well, but like it's so much harder on ladies, especially if they get intimate, yeah, and they give their all. And next thing you know, this man just all over the place. I mean, treat you as though you are second class, you are nothing. And, that's just not a nice thing at all. So I don't know, Brother Devon, if you want to jump in here or you just want to, if you have had any such experience with a friend or yourself or anything.
Well, yes. Let me jump in. And I have been rejected more than once, and it is really, as you say, it's not a nice experience. It's a real bad experience. I remember even when I was going to school, there was this girl I was attracted to, and I think several of the other girls in the class knew that I was attracted to her, and she was taking the stuff that I was buying for her, Valentine's Day, etc. And several of the girls, they liked me, as not like interested in me, but they like me because I showed me interest in this particular girl. Then to end up find out that she was interested in one of my other friends, so that was hurtful. That's not easy. And there was another time that I was courting a girl, and she eventually she run me. At a certain point, she get fed up on me, I guess, quote unquote, and she run me, Sister Shaman. When that occurred, I changed. I changed from being such a nice, soft, gentle guy to being very assertive. and I said to myself, I would never allow a woman to
Mm.
treat me like that again in life. I'll never allow a
Wow.
woman to do that. Because like how I grew up with this gentleman, the kind of
Yes,
that all right, total gentleman, you open the door for the lady,
yes, yes.
and you take her out and all these things. And when this particular individual actually run me, like, gone, go from here, sister Shaved, that what that do to me inside. I mean, it I think it was needed because I was very, very soft in certain respects. And I
Mm.
think it probably has impacted me. As we're talking now, I think that has been like one of the things that impacted me when it comes to romance, because that's one of my weak areas. So I could be real honest here, right? I could be honest. That's one of my weak areas. I think that has impacted me that even today, how I treat with romance, it's incredibly tough for me. I'm not against romance. I support romance, but I think it's incredibly tough because I was like that, and I think it burned me so bad, like it leave a scar,
Mm.
and yeah. So rejection is serious. It's a very hurtful thing, and
Mm.
people deal with it different.
Yes.
My thing was, I reached a place in my life where I started to look at myself and realize I have value, and I am not going to allow another human being to dictate my value, to ever treat me like that. And I watched it as I pretty much allow that, even though
Mm.
I wasn't planning for somebody to treat me that way. I pretty much allow that. If I stood up for myself at the beginning, then and you spoke about giving your all. There's so many people, women and men, who give their all to somebody they love romantically.
Yeah.
And when you give your all, now that person turns around and treats you like trash.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that could turn out in so many ways. How someone responds to that, people could turn out to decide, okay, I'm going to treat everybody as bad. I'm going to hook up with people and treat them bad and so on. But one thing I did do, and I still hold to, and I'm not vexed with it. I'll tell you something I did do, and I'm not vexed with it. I said, with the rejections I got and so on, I said, when I meet the person that is really for me, I am going to treat that person so good that I will make it will be like the other girls when you see me moving around with my queen. No, you're going to be jealous. You're going to wish that could have been me.
That's right. That's
I'm
right.
not going back on that. I'm not going back on that.
So it did good for you.
Yes,
Yes, even though it
yes,
was painful, it still developed you. It made you into a more assertive person. And I thank God that it did not get you bitter,
yes,
towards women, and
yeah.
resentful of women because,
Hmm.
that could have been the case. So, yeah,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
many persons that happen with. And, realize that some men, especially men in my estimate, they cannot deal with rejection, romantic rejection, because they will be giving out their all. And I don't know if it is what happens in the middle there. I want to say something. If it is you are in a relationship with someone and you see this person giving his or her all and you know you're not into that person as you're supposed to, oh gosh, end it quickly now, end it quickly, and the other party, I pray God will just relinquish, because sometimes one party telling the other party, listen, nah, let's be friends, and the other party still saying, no, I will dig into it, I will run in there, I will. And now you give you this, you give you that, and all that, and then at the end they just fall flat. So I am saying, be honest, do not take the individual's stuff, you understand, and all the help, and use the individual, and you know very well that you're really not into the person as the person into you. That is a very, very dishonest and, in my estimation, wicked thing to do. You
Sister,
understand? Go ahead.
Sister Shaman, I had to jump in here to fully agree with you. Um, I, I, and I like how you handled it. You look at both sides. You look at the person that doing the deed, doing the works, buying the gifts and all that kind of stuff. That they have to listen to what the person is saying. If and the person who is not interested have to be talking and saying, no, I don't want it. So
Yeah.
both sides. And there are so many people who you will continue to receive the gifts,
Yeah.
receive whatever. Genuinely, you're not interested in the person. And some people, it's either one of two things. It's either they actually want to see how much they could get from this person, or they don't know how to let the person down,
Yes.
right? So
Yes.
so so over
You don't want to
time,
hurt the person, but eventually you will hurt the person
ex-
anyhow.
exactly. So why prolong something?
Mm.
And
Yeah.
like for me, this is my thing. Let's say where we are at from the door. From the door. Listen, I am not interested in a relationship. Like if I'm single and so on, I'm like this. Yeah, what now? I'm not interested in a relationship.
Mhm.
And I'll without the person saying anything. If I see a sort of kind of like come at me, I'll probably let you know, hey, I'm not really interested in a relationship. Like, when I'm single and so on, and girls after me. And I wasn't no girls. If I see somebody kind of pulling at me and I'm not really into you, I let hey, no, no, I good. I good. No, I know it gonna hurt the feelings, but as you say, that is unavoidable. That is unavoidable. The longer you spend, building that, is the harder it is to break it off. And the
Yes.
person now invests time, and the more time that they, a week, a month pass, they keep seeing progress. They keep seeing progress. So say we have to say from the beginning, and the person who is hearing it, hear it, actually hear it, so that you don't put
Yes.
yourself in any, uncomfortable position. Sister
Yes.
Charmaine, I turn back to you.
Yes, 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 yes. So I totally want to agree with that. It's just, treating the person with some sort of dignity, treating the person as a human being with respect, so be honest to the individual and do not use them, right? So that is really important there. Yes, so, yeah, so another form of rejection we see is where a child or an adult who has no friends. Now, and we could go back to some school days. School days could have been very brutal, and even now, school days are brutal for some individuals. The children could be very children could be very mischievous, and they could do, their friends, they could, harm without even sometimes knowing it. You in a class or in a school, and you see there are some loners. People just reject certain persons for no reason because they not like them, because they call them nerd, they call them, all these names, and they reject them. They don't want them in their circle. So, this sort of behavior in schools, particularly even in colleges and universities, yeah, it can happen. And if an individual is not strong, that could literally scar the individual mind to make them feel as though, wow, boy, how come nobody, don't want to accept me as a friend because I'm probably not bold and, outstanding in whatever way, So I am saying, out here, we need to accept people. So this form of rejection is another rejection that is really, really could be very cruel. And I heard a pastor talking, and he was saying that he was rejected in school. Why? Because he had some sort of infection. And because of that, nobody wanted to stay around him. Nobody wanted to be his friend. But that worked in his favor. He was just pushed closer to God, and he developed a closer relationship with God. And now, he's being literally used in a mighty way by God. So I am saying that, what the enemy meant for harm, sometimes God turns it around for good. But the bottom line is that form of rejection as a child or even as an adult, in university or whatever, it has a very impacting, result on one's emotions. Yes. So you want to add anything there, Brother Devon? No?
Oh yes, yes, yes. And the thing about when you are a young person going to school, many people, probably not everyone, but many people want to be accepted. You want to be feeling like if you are part of the group, you are part of the crowd, you are part of um the community, because often in schools you have different people kicking off, right? So um you have this group that would be probably the study group. You have this
Yeah.
group who are the sports, persons, those who are really good at football. Let's say somebody who's really good at cricket. Those are the runners for the school. So you have persons in school that group off, and it's normal human behavior. We are
Yeah.
very, very normal. Now
Yeah.
when it is like no group is accepting it, that's tough. That's, and you see, like, all right, you have the study buddies there, you have the preppy whoever, you have the pretty people, you have the sports people, you have,
Yeah. The rich people.
yeah, you have everybody clicking off in some group, and then you're like outside, nobody accepting it. So rejection in that space, I think one of the, probably the second place after your home, after your family,
Yeah.
that is the second place that many people look for acceptance,
Hmm.
right? It may compete with church or your religious group, because
Yeah.
that comes in as well. But often people want to be accepted in school.
Yeah.
Many young people have not built that ability to say, okay, I don't care what anybody think about me. At the end of the day, you're not paying my bills. I'm not living by you. You're not feeding me. Young persons, many of them not thinking like
Yes,
that.
they don't have that. Yeah.
You're right. Because I think I said it already. When I reach a particular age in my life and a stage in my life, I didn't care what people think about me. My
Mhm.
mindset was, are you paying my bills?
Yes.
I can't remember you paying my rent. I can't remember you helping me get the clothes for me, and so I can't remember none of those things, and I am stressing out myself to appease these total strangers. And we even see people who would go as far as to real dress up and so on to impress people. But then people watch you for about 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and then they move on. Imagine this, Sister Shamin. I don't know if I shared this, I probably did. I went in KFC a day, and you see me looking. I come from construction work. I come out there.
Mhm.
I looking like, I'm not looking pretty. I have my jeans pants. I have my jersey. I have my bag. I'm looking scruffy. I'm not looking like, a street
Yeah.
person.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but I'm not looking. I'm not blinging, right?
Yeah.
I'm not blinging. And there's this guy inside there, inside by KFC, and he sees me. He well dressed. Oh gosh, I tell you, he have it done. He have it done packed. And he asking me for about $2 to buy a pack of fries. I was stunned because I couldn't believe what I just heard. I couldn't believe that this person who looking so good. You want about that $2 to buy a pack of fries? I think in my mind, you sell something when you have one. Sell the gold band or the gold chain or the earring you have in your ears. Or sell something, get some money, and buy your pack of, buy a whole box. Buy two fries. No, but I using that basically to say that we spend so much time studying what people think, and I'm not saying that people need to look scruffy and not well kept,
Mhm.
and so you dress
Mhm.
yourself, look decent. But
Yeah.
yes, people will spend a whole lot of money just to look good and impress people who are going to, they're going and see you now, and they're going to bypass you In a few minutes,
Yeah.
somebody else will come and probably be better dressed, quote unquote, and they're going to move on. So many young persons, when you're young, you really look at acceptance. So when you are rejected, it is a hard thing. It is a heavy thing to
Yes,
be
yes,
rejected.
yes.
But I also believe with rejection, there's this, and I hope I'm not jumping the gun on some of
Mm,
the things you want to bring
mm,
up. But there is an opportunity created in rejection, as you mentioned, with the pastor, that he
yeah.
was rejected when he was younger, but that gave him space to build his relationship with God.
Yes, quite so, quite so.
And the thing I see is that sometimes, I mean, it's good to have people around, but then there's also that incredibly important aspect of life I believe in, to be by yourself,
Mm,
balancing being with people, but also being by yourself, being comfortable to be by yourself, to be alone. Sister Charmaine, I could be in the house by myself and not want anybody and not be missing anybody. I could be by I could be happy being by myself. Now I'm not saying I have a problem with people. I just saying that I can be happy being by myself. I don't need
yeah,
people to be around me
yeah,
24/7. Right? I don't need it. I will
yeah.
miss people, have a little time pass. But I could be, and Sister Charmaine, I don't know if this has happened to you, but when you're quiet, there's a lot of things you're kind of like you're revisiting your mind, things you
Yes,
might have said,
yeah,
things you might have done, things that
yeah.
would have happened around, things that you forgot,
Mm,
new perspectives. Sister Shami, I will be washing clothes, and quite often I have these earplugs or some other earplugs in my ears. I'm
mm,
listening to ministry, might be listening to music, listening to a discussion, some kind of thing I do. So
mm,
I don't only do YouTube and Facebook.
yeah.
I listen to some stuff, more so beneficial stuff and whatnot.
Mm,
And sometimes I would decide, okay, I'm not going to listen to anything. I'm just going to wash the clothes. And Sister Charmaine, all kinds of things come in that
yes,
quiet. So in the rejection, opportunity is created right there in
yes,
the rejection.
quite
Sister
so.
Charmaine, I'll go back to you.
Yes, so I just remember in primary school, I remember, trying so much to be in the accepted crowd because from humble beginnings there, I remember this, and now I can laugh. Going to school, I did not have the sneakers at the time. I had a kick and staff. It's kick and staff, they used to call it shoes. A big white one to boot, because you see Brother Devon laughing at me, boy. A big white one, and that alone used to make me feel rejected because when I go to school, people were there with sneakers and I with a big white shoes. So I say, Lord. So what I used to do now to try to be accepted in primary school is I used to go and take a whole bag of milk and put sugar in it and share it, and give people things. So I'm just showing you as a child, you want this acceptance, you know what I mean? Because you want to be accepted in the in crowd, the hip crowd, this sort of thing. So, I mean, we need as parents, more mature persons to talk to children, don't reject your friends, other persons, don't treat them badly and call them names and all this sort of thing is not right. So parents need to teach their children that. So that, school could be a nice place, but oh gosh, if you're not being treated right, it could be a very awful place. In university, I mean, listen, university always have group project and they do that so that you will get acclimatized to working in the workplace with people. So they always have you in groups. And Brother Devon, I know of persons who no group want to accept, no group, people cry for that. You know what I mean? No group wanted to accept a particular individual. And I was like, wow, that was real devastating. That is real devastating. And I mean, people, oh boy, people could be so not nice at times. and this really impacted the individual, and we need to be cognizant of these things, that what it is for somebody to join a group. Everybody not the same. You understand? You different from me, okay? And everybody will play a certain part, but no group wanted to accept the lecturer and whatnot had to intervene. So I am saying that this sometimes could even now be playing on this person's mind and have that person, aggressive towards certain individuals. So, school life could be really impacting if it is you are or were rejected. But as you said, Brother Devon, the rejection could also cause you to catapult into a stronger person. Yeah, because I remember, in high school, when it is like my whole mindset started to change, I used to sometimes on a lunchtime pull away and go, well, I mean, it was a Catholic school, go, down in the chapel there and just sit down and pray. And I mean, I never used to do that before. So, rejection could actually build you up as an individual, draw you closer to God, and do good things for you. So you have to make up your mind, I am not going to let these persons who reject me cause me to be a failure or, have a negative personality in life. Yes? So,
Exactly. Before you move on, Sister Charmaine, I see
yes.
Sister Lars has posted something about
But I
shoes.
can't get my phone. I'll give it something going on with my phone. So you
Okay.
will have to read it, please.
All right. So all right, no problem. So Sister Lars is saying, Sister Charmaine, if it was now, you would have been on Facebook with your shoes.
Exactly. Exactly so. Exactly. Oh boy. Yes. So true.
Yes. And let me say this. School is a place which will challenge young people,
Yes.
children. It kind of like it sets you in a sense for the harshness of the world. It just gives you a taste of how the real world could be for a young person.
Mm-hmm.
That people will tell you something and they don't care if your feelings hurt.
Yep.
They will see you crying and they will kick you while you're down. And sometimes we think that people would, just not not push that. But there are people who go into they will see you totally in pieces, broken down, and they will still come at your butt.
Yes.
As
Yes.
much as there are persons like that, there are other people who are young who show their quality of compassion. There are young persons who would reach out and say, hey, stop that treatment of the person. Or they will come and wrap their arms around that person and say, hey, don't study them. Don't study them. So it kind of creates that space for people to develop, young persons to develop and to find themselves as young people as they grow in
Mhm.
life. Yeah. Sister
Yes.
Charmaine, over to you.
Yes, quite so. So, I mean, the school thing, we could spend a long time there because I have so many other examples. But, we need, I think, as, in the home, if it is, children see parents being respectful and kind and whatnot, automatically they will develop that intrinsically inside of them, and they will just be demonstrating that, oh, they're standing up for the underdog, so to speak, So we need to instill these values into our little ones. So when they go out there, they will make a difference in life. Yes. And something, Brother Devon, sometimes we see persons rebellious in school, right? And giving real trouble. It's not because they are the big bad wolf, but that is the way that it's a defense mechanism then. So that even though you don't like me or you reject me, I don't care. So it's just a frontal thing some children put on here in order to combat that feeling of rejection. All right, so let's go on to another one. Rejection from parents. Now, this is again another biggie. rejection from parents. Brother Devon, are you okay there?
I think my computer kind of like coming and going. Yeah, I think the signal. Are you hear me? Signal should be all right.
Yes,
Right. All right.
yes.
All right. I think just a cord or a jack probably just got touched. Go ahead.
Yes, so rejection from parents. Just now we will end, Brother Devon. I see you tired. So we will end it. Yes, rejection from parents is another big one. So you can imagine you growing up in a home with how many ever siblings, and your some parents, wow, I don't know if they didn't have the training, and some parents actually will say unto the particular child that you are the worst child I ever had. Oh, I don't like you because you're not like your brother or your sister or whoever, or like the neighbor children and whatnot. And that to me is the worst form of rejection, because remember, this is your flesh and blood. These are the persons who actually, birthed you. And now for you to tell that same child that, I don't like you for whatever reason, why you're not like this one, or, you're done, so to speak, that is to me, that is evil. That is evil, and that plants that seed in that child, and that child sometimes could develop with a low self-esteem, a spiritual low self-esteem. They might get aggressive, they might, be dokedam, all different negative ways that this person could grow up, just, being reclusive, pulling away from the crowd and all that. So as parents, we need to be very aware that we don't speak to our children, and sometimes we may not speak it, but we may act it. Yeah, we may show the others. Yeah, there are some children who literally excel more than others. They are more willing, they are more kind, they are not lazy. And yes, you may gravitate more towards that child, but you need to have wisdom and treat all at a particular level. And even though you may have a little more for one child, you don't show it across the board. You do not, because this, throughout this individual lifestyle, it will always be coming up in their relationships, in whatever, it will always be coming up, because in their mind, they will think, wow, boy, if my person, my parent, you understand, who birthed me, who gave life to me. I mean, it's God who gave life, but you know what I mean, the physical life to me. And they don't like me. What then? A man told me that. He said, me care who will like me, And this was his quote unquote grandmother. He said, because my grandmother hated me. She didn't like me. So I ain't really care who will like me now. And it's a que attitude with him. He doesn't care. He says so, but that is not true that he doesn't care. He is hurting. And he, as a big man, is hurting, but he telling me he doesn't care, but he cares. So that now is, inside of this individual. And this individual is going around and saying, I don't care if you are like me, I will do whatever. So now this individual does things to make persons sort of disgruntled about the behavior. But he put up in his mind that I don't care, I will still do whatever, and I don't care if you don't like me. So you see what I'm saying? The individual went so far to say, even in church, they didn't like me, but I don't even care. But that person cares. That person is hurting. And you see where it started from a grandmother. Yeah. So I am saying that, listen to parents out there, be careful, be extremely careful in, exalting one child, against the other. It is a real, that's fire you are playing with there. Yeah, that's fire. I don't know if you want to add anything there, brother.
Yeah. Listen, you're talking there, Sister Charmian, and you're touching my heart, and you're touching my heart. That person is definitely hurting,
Yeah.
and they're building on what somebody so close, a family. When your own family could say something like that to you, I mean, come on, there's
Grandmother.
grandmother. A grandma, that's a foundation, you know. That
What?
fo- Listen, people, even people like your aunt and your uncle, you can kind of like, all right, you see.
Yes, yes,
But
yes.
you see, grandparents and direct parents,
Mm-mm.
direct parents, direct siblings, and grandparents. Those,
Yeah.
to me, they have. I'm not saying if somebody else say no, my uncle closer to me. That I cool, I respect that. But you see,
Mhm.
because of the how we as human beings hold a mother and a father, how you
Mhm.
hold your brother and your sister, you hold those persons with great important significance in your life because that's direct blood. Now, when you go to grandparents, you're talking about the ancients. You're talking
Yes.
about those who are, let me use the word stalwarts in the
Yep.
family, the stalwarts in
Yes.
the family. So if your grandmother or your grandfather could say something like that to you, I mean, that is going to cut deep.
Yes. Yes.
That is
Yes.
going to cut really.
That is a double-edged sword right there. Yeah.
Yes, yes, that is going to cut deep. So now, often with human beings, when that person you see, when somebody so close to you say, "I don't
Mhm.
love you," or you know, anything negative along that
Yeah.
path,
Yeah.
then anybody else saying something, it only builds on
Yes.
that. Because
Yes.
if my own father or my own mother, my own brother, my own sister, my own grandfather or grandmother could tell me that,
Mhm.
who is anybody else? Who is anybody else? I
Mhm.
mean, the only how somebody else voice is going to have an effect is if that person is coming to say, I love you.
Mhm.
Because now you have a stranger, somebody who is not quote unquote stranger, or somebody who is not blood coming and say the words, I love you. You are important. I value you. And that could reach down in that person. I'm saying could, I ain't saying will, because everybody is different at the end of the day, right? That could possibly reach down into that person and impact them in ways that you could
Mhm.
see tears start to run.
Yeah.
Sister Charmin, I talk to people who look for them words, I love you, and couldn't get it from this person or these people who close to them and getting it from somebody else outside. And
Yep.
it means so much.
Yes.
It
Yes.
means so much. But I'm going to piggyback off of that and I'm going to touch on what you started with in the parents aspect. Um, you are right. I believe many parents have many persons who are parents who have said things like that. They have not been taught how to parent,
Yep.
how to say certain things, what to say and what not to say, even when you're vexed. Sister
Mhm.
Shami, I am
Yeah.
going to guess you have this trait. I'm going to guess you have this trait. I have it. I'm going to guess you have it. I just get mad. I just get vexed and I just hold my tongue.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
Plenty things I
Yes.
feel to say, I
Yes.
don't say. And
Yes.
sometimes what I have to, I'll get to my point without being disrespectful,
Mm.
mean, harsh. I'll still get to my point. So I
Yeah.
find a new way to say it. At
Yes.
the end of the day, you can't say that I insulted you and be justified in it. I mean, you can say it, but are you justified? Did I really insult you? Or did I highlight something that you was wrong and you needed correction in, for example, or whatever? Because there are persons you know, you're a young parent and, for example, you hear the child crying. Oh, why does this child not shut up? Shut up! You know, the parent can't take the crying and now now the parent builds on that negativity. Anytime the
Yeah.
child has a situation or whatever, you're always antagonistic and aggressive because you didn't take time to understand what parenting involves. Patience,
Yep.
a whole crocus bag and more. A patience,
Yeah.
right? And knowing what to say, when to say, who to have around you, how to treat the child, not to be slapping up the child because the child do something wrong. Every
Yeah.
time the child do something wrong, platter and ringing the child ear. Sister Shaman, I know you know about the ring, the ring.
Yes.
The ring
Yes. Yeah.
You know them ring? Not the pinch with the ring.
Oh gosh. Hmm.
I know, I used to love to talk to older folks, because when older folks had to talk and they tell you these stories, they tell us everything they went through.
Yes.
I
Yes.
know, I know. So several people were not properly taught. That is a fact. And still right now, a lot of persons not properly taught how to parent. They're not. You know why? Because let me choose my words carefully. When Sister Charmaine, the feelings start to rush. And again, the mood, when the huggy, kissy, kissy, plus start to flow in a direction. Nobody else studying no parenting, how to mind a child, and the child to be making noise in your head. You're studying that. The 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 the, the excitement is in the body.
Yes. 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 Yes.
The things, the certain anatomies are activated. They are activated. Nobody else studying minding no child. And then when the body parts are activated and people act on how they feel, you go through the full activity, and
Yes.
now belly rise and child jump out. Now it's time to mind child, but you never train yourself for that.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I'll come back to you, Sister
So,
Shavit.
Brother Devon, and let's come here just a bit. Now, boy, we have practical examples of this. You recall recently on the news where this young lady injected the child with some chemical and killed the child because the child was crying. Just about last week or week before, 2 weeks ago. You recall that?
I remember they were talking about somebody feeding a child something. Was it through? It was through injection.
They injected the
The child.
child because the child was crying. I can't remember what substance they
Right.
injected the child with.
Right.
So going back to the fact that, well, it was a young individual. So the feelings, yes, and then the child, jumps out from your womb and whatnot, and you have not been taught. So that's it. So we were saying that plenty young people really and truly are not taught what parenting is about. And this little child, this poor baby, crying uncontrollably, maybe I'm not saying it was the case, maybe hungry, maybe with a pain. The child cannot talk. So we as the parent now need to know how to nurture, how to think that child. And this young person may be going through her own frustration, her own dilemma, cannot cope with her dilemmas in life, and couldn't take that pride in your head. Just had a baby, and after you have a baby, it's postpartum, they call it. I don't know if I'm saying it right. When you have all these issues, yes, it's a sort of emotional thing. You're very touchy, and you could do any, crazy thing just after you give birth to a child. And going through all the different issues. I don't know where baby father was in this whole scenario and whatnot. And the girl couldn't take it. She killed her child, so to speak. She literally killed the child. She's right here in our country. Yeah, because who knows? I don't know the young lady background. Who knows what if she probably was rejected as well, and she did not know how to bear up under this parenting. She had no parenting skills clearly, and it's a real pity. Now I feel for her. She needs a lot of counseling. Now, I mean, I don't know what was the end results where she is right now, but she literally, killed her own baby, So this is it. So we are not taught. I think, I don't know, boy, we probably need to have some sort of institutions where young persons could literally go and be taught what parenting is, because I associate with some young people like in their 20s and whatnot who became pregnant, but thank God this particular couple, they are doing fabulous. They are taking care of their baby. And, I remember them telling me they never knew it was so hard, because when that child crying for the entire night and you can't sleep and you're irritable and you have to go to work the next day, and from the time sometimes you feed the baby and you lie down to say, yes, I'm going to get a rest, you hear again, the baby crying. It could be frustrating. So it's not everybody knows how to deal with parenting. So you see, we need some sort of system where we could send young ladies and young men to actually train to be parents, yeah? Parenting skills.
I wish they would have it as a part of the curriculum, as a must.
Yes.
Yeah, because when it comes to math, we make that a must. English, social studies, science, we make those things a must.
So
And I
why not
think
have some life skills, you mean, in secondary school?
yes, exactly. Because let's be real. I was on a program recently as a guest, and being on that program, we talked about sex. That was the topic that I was invited to talk on. And talking about that, it was mentioned, I think I mentioned, young people talking about sex. I mean, like around adults, they hold back on that. But they talk about that. They talk about that's a regular conversation of their
Yeah.
desires and what they wanted to do. And the lead person on the program was a young person. That's the lead person was a young person. And the person agreed with me immediately, because that's just the reality. The reality is that a lot of young people talk about sex and a lot of them are practicing it.
Yeah.
So if they're already talking about it, they're already watching different things and they're already
Mhm.
practicing it,
Yeah.
listen, let them be educated on it. Let them
Yeah.
be educated on how serious a child is, and don't do it like no, don't do this like, well, for about a week, a month
Yes.
or so.
Yes.
No,
Yes.
do this.
Do
Do
it as
this
a subject. Yeah.
as a subject,
As a
really.
course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So that I remember years ago, Sister Charmy, when I was going to school, they had the dollar show, where they would bring. I think at that time they still had VHS, and they would bring a documentary or a movie, different things they would have. And they had this setup where it is you come into a particular class, after a large
Yeah.
class, you pay a
Yeah.
price, whether it's a
Yeah.
dollar or whatever, and you come and you watch this documentary, and we saw some things in dealing
Yes.
with the sexual illnesses, gonorrhea. Oh gosh, my computer, my camera going again. All right. Things such as gonorrhea, syphilis, etc. HIV. We saw different things in
Yeah.
regards to Sister Shaman. When I see that,
Mhm.
that was it for me. I good, Sister Shaman. I good.
Yes. Yes.
When you
In
seen,
primary school, they used to show you that.
I saw it in secondary school.
Right. Right.
Right, right. So when I saw that, and you saw body parts rotting off,
Yes.
you
Yes.
saw body parts with holes. Um, I'm not trying to be gross, but even with pus and all that for certain, illnesses or diseases. Listen, that will change your mind. But the
Yeah.
thing about it, it was at that moment we come and we see that. By tomorrow, it's still kind of fresh in your mind. Hey, by next week, that gone pretty much that going from we're going back into the flow. So
Yeah.
that's why I say make this thing,
Make
make
it.
it,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
make it
Yes.
something serious. And
Yes.
I saying that, Sister Charmaine, and I know that's a wish I have, but I
Yeah.
am not putting that as a must that the government will do that, because I don't know if the government will do that. But parents is the real people. That's our role as
Yeah.
adults.
It's true as
We
adults.
Yeah,
Yes.
we need to do
Need
that.
to
Sister
do
Charmaine,
that.
back to you.
Yes, no, I am in total agreement with you, Brother Devon. But I remember in primary school, fifth standard, they actually used to bring you in a hall, the all the fifth and fourth standards, and show you a documentary about puberty and so on. So I don't know if they still have that, but I wish they would, and how easy it is to get pregnant and whatnot. And those things instill values in us. And as you say, it brings certain level of fear. Oh, good, I could get pregnant just like that boy, with the regular monthly cycle and whatnot, your menstrual cycle, they show you how the ladies could get pregnant. And I wish that, I pray God that they still do these type of things, even in as young as primary school, yeah? As young as that. So we need to, I agree, I wish that could be incorporated into our curriculum because, yes, I agree it's the parents, but we know very well that, some parents may not be so akin to do that. So, for the parents who will do it, thank God. But for where some parents may drop off, I wish the school could really take it up. Teachers could really take it upon themselves. And I think sometimes it doesn't even have to be the curriculum, but they have like whatever social studies or whatever. You could probably bring in some sessions with it. We have to work on something. We have to try something of the sort. Yes. So, Brother Devon, I am looking at the time and it's 9 o'clock. So I am seeing you like stressing. You're sort of in distress. Oh gosh, given that you did indicate that you were really sleepy, so I am thinking that we could make this our last point and we could continue next week, please, Lord.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
possible,
We can
or
do that.
week after.
Yeah. We could definitely do that. Guys, we want to thank you for being a part of our conversation. We hope it was informative. It was a blessing. We want to be able to touch on things practical, talk about issues that several of us face in life, have faced. Some people facing it right now. Some persons will face it in the future, and to give some type of encouragement, some type of positivity where these realities face all of us as human beings, right? So I want to say thank you and wish everyone a fantastic night. Sister Charmaine, I turn it over to you.
So yes, thanks for that, Brother Devon. So I just want to say thanks for listening to, and I just want to remind us, those of us who feel rejected, who have been rejected, sometimes still go through the little, remembering how, you were rejected in the past. Go back to the scripture verse in Deuteronomy 31, 6 to 8, and know that God has not rejected us. He's with us. He said he will never leave us nor forsake us. Yes, so be strong and courageous, knowing that this fact that he is with us. So have a blessed